Welcome to In Sequence, a comics podcast for everyone. I'm Jillian, and these are your panelists for today. Panelists?
Hey, I'm Matt.
Hi, I'm Scout.
And sadly, our dear Robin is not with us.
Makes it sound like she died. She didn't
I know.
die. She's just busy.
Robin is not with us anymore.
It's the holidays.
It's a holiday.
We're literally recording this on Christmas Eve, so like...
Christmas Eve? I've never heard that one before. I always just call it Christmas Eve.
Yeah, usually we do that, but I remember Eric would often mention Christmas Eve.
I like that.
Back in college, so... Yes, Robin is in the throes of holiday stuff.
Packing
Shout
and
out
travel.
to Robin. Packing and traveling.
Yeah.
Could not be me.
Yeah, unlike us goblins
Unlike us
that are
losers.
just staying at home.
Have nothing better to do but record a damn podcast.
Yeah, God.
Podcasters these days always in their damn recordings.
always recording instead of celebrating the Lord. That took a weird turn. Sorry about that. Today, we are discussing one of my picks from our Shortbox episode. We are discussing Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Last Amazon.
I'm so excited for this.
I know. I'm stoked. I didn't even read it that long ago, and then I reread it today, and I'm like, man, this fucks.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
I just want to call out at the top that we're going to try out a spoiler and non-spoiler section in this episode.
Yeah. Let us know if that works.
Yeah, let us know if you enjoy that. We want people to be able to listen to part of the show if you want to. So we'll start out not getting into spoilers, and then we'll let you know when we're ready to.
We'll have a big klaxon alarm going. So we'll go ahead and get into the front matter. Absolute Wonder Woman is written by Kelly Thompson. The issues that are present in this volume are illustrated by Hayden, Sherman, and Mattia de Iulis. I really hope I pronounced your name correctly. Color is by Jordi Belair, letters by Becca Carey, and it is edited by Chris Conroy. It was first published in October 2024 as part of DC's Absolute Universe. It is currently ongoing. I believe as of right now, there is a crossover with Absolute Batman happening.
I've seen Absolute Batman on the cover of the newest
Yeah,
issue. So.
The comic shop that I follow on Blue Sky has been posting a lot about it.
Yeah.
Volume 1 covers the first 7 issues. And at the 2025 Eisner Awards, this volume won Best New Series and Best Coloring.
Hell
and
yeah.
was nominated for like 15 other things.
Yeah, I really agree with that coloring award.
Yeah, the coloring is choice. The Last Amazon presents a Diana raised not among the Amazons, but in hell with the witch Circe as her foster mother. The story is delivered in both past and present. In the past, she is raised by Circe and grows into a compassionate and skilled warrior. And in the present, creatures called Harbingers attack Gateway City, which reunites her with Steve Trevor, who she saved when he washed up on the shores of hell. With his help, she must find a way to save the people of the city from a behemoth monster bent on total destruction. First things first, Absolute Universe. I love Matt's note here that says it kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I was going to put in there. I was just going to be like, it's exactly what it abbreviates to. It's an AU. It
Exactly.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
I was wondering because I was going to say the use of the word absolute like implies a finality that I am not used to in the comic book world.
in the big two's general scheme of things tends to not be absolute.
Right. It implies to me that they're not, that this is it and we're not doing it anymore.
So, especially with DC, they print what are called absolute editions, which is that. It's like the final, biggest, baddest, best printing. They're huge. They're like really high quality paper and binding. That's not what this is. Like you'll hear people talk about like old printings of like Absolute Batman. And what they mean in that case is like a big fancy edition of a Batman book. They don't mean the ongoing series Absolute Batman. That's on DC for naming those two things the same thing.
Why? It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's
not important.
And Jill, just stop me if you wanted to cover this. Like I can launch into the stuff I got in my notes. But my opinion on this is exactly that. This is just an alternate universe. You don't need to worry too much about what the absolute universe is. Just know that it's an alternate universe where things are like slightly more fucked up than the regular DC universe. I will say all of the Absolute books are currently ongoing and are really great jumping on points. So if you want to pick up Absolute Batman or Absolute Superman or Absolute Martian Manhunter or Green Lantern or Flash, all of these are really great jumping on points if you just want to like pick up a comic book and read and not really have any experience with it.
Yeah.
And I would say the three that are the most popular are Batman, Wonder Woman, and Martian Manhunter.
I would agree.
Never even heard of the Martian Manhunter. I don't know who
I
this is.
believe, yeah, I have heard that the Martian Manhunter one plays with the physical space of a comic book really interestingly.
I've been told not to read it digitally.
Yeah, it is apparently got some very cool stuff dealing with how thin the paper is and whatnot.
Oh, so it like there's things that would transpose on top of each other through the transparent paper.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I have the first volume of Absolute Batman. I picked it up at the same time as Wonder Woman. I just haven't actually read it yet because I got distracted finishing.
Good, Jillian.
I know I got
good.
Hey, I got distracted finishing the Tom Taylor Nightwing run.
Hey,
so
that I will take
that's
it.
Valid.
I'll take it.
But yeah, I definitely, after reading this one, I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna go like get the rest of the Absolute comics because this was really good and they seem to be pretty popular.
Yeah, I would say across the board they're pretty good. I will say the least favorites people have are Green Lantern and Flash, but like even that's going to be better than like I don't know,
most Green Lantern.
Yeah. Although I think Absolute Green Lantern requires you to have like feelings about the deeper lore of existing Green Lantern for it to feel different. That's not what we're here to talk about today.
No.
I will say for if you want 20 seconds on what actually the Absolute universe is, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, go for it.
Basically, it's an alternate universe where the big bad Darkseid has made it so that all the heroes he's been fighting for like millennia had no chance to become what they were. So Batman's not rich and his mom's still alive. Wonder Woman was stolen from Themyscira by the gods and didn't know she's an Amazon. And Superman grew up on Krypton with his parents. So that it's like kind of everything's a little bit different.
Okay, that's fun.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, if you are a Marvel reader, you might be like, hey, that sounds a lot like the pitch for the current Ultimate Universe. It's because they're basically the same idea. And in fact, the current Absolute Universe is absolutely DC riffing on the original Ultimate Universe from Marvel from the 2000s. It just so happened that Marvel was also working on a new Ultimate Universe around the time that Absolute came out.
They need to stop naming things the same thing.
Yeah, they do. I will say, if you're interested in Marvel stuff, the new Ultimate stuff is really also really good and is currently ongoing. It's going to end in like March or April. They're doing literally an event called Ultimate Endgame.
Oh.
They have an alternate cover that looks like the Endgame poster. It doesn't matter. But I will say that's a good jumping on point for like a bunch of like very different Marvel books. The X-Men book is not like any X-Men and is basically like a colored manga.
Oh,
all right.
Okay, writing that down.
Yeah. So Absolute and Ultimate, really good jumping on points.
Yeah. And I am familiar very vaguely with Wonder Woman as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is the first Wonder Woman comic that I've read. Like she's showed up in other comics that I've read, but this is the first one I read that was like centered on her. And like the Absolute seemed to be incredibly accessible.
Yeah. I had read like a couple issues of New 52 Wonder Woman because AC was a big New 52 Wonder Woman reader when we were in college. I don't really remember most of it because I was reading it back in like 2012. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, this is the first, like she showed up when I read like 52 a couple years ago. It's a different book. Again, sorry, Scout. 52 is a different book from New 52.
Stop doing this!
But she's like showed up in a few things that I've read. I read some like Superman where she'll show up and stuff. But yeah, this is the one that I
think she was in like one of the issues of the Nightwing run.
Yeah, exactly.
And like we generally know the concept of Wonder Woman, I feel.
Well, I was going to ask Scout, how much do you feel like you know about Wonder Woman coming into this book?
Basically nothing.
Yeah.
Pretty much nothing.
That's fair.
I did go and see have they made more than one Gal Gadot Wonder Woman? Did they make two of them?
They made two of them. I didn't see the second one.
I saw the first one with my dad in theaters, not knowing anything about Wonder Woman. And I remember having a fine time with it, but mostly just thinking I I really liked that, especially the first of the new Star Trek movies with Chris Pine. When I was younger, I went through a phase with that. So I was mostly just like, oh, it's fun to see another movie with Chris Pine in it. And so I have no like the lore of Wonder Woman.
You know what? Honestly, respect.
Have you ever seen like Linda Carter Wonder Woman? Like even the gif of her like spinning into her costume?
Probably. I feel I have like cultural knowledge of, I've seen her. I just Googled that. I've seen what she looks like before, for sure. I know what Wonder Woman looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, I was pretty much just a little bit more than you, Scout. Like, I had seen the first of the, like, recent Wonder Woman movies. I've seen her around, and that's pretty much, like, where I was at.
Yeah, I watched Justice League and Justice League Unlimited on Cartoon Network growing up. And that was probably the most exposure that I had to Wonder Woman, non-comics related.
Yeah.
Those, I've heard good things about those. I think I've mentioned that before. I am so like it's almost comical how little I know about superheroes. You could tell me anything about a superhero and I would be like, yeah.
Cool. Honestly, it's great to have you as like an audience in the show.
Because exactly what I just did. I'm like, yeah, we know who Wonder Woman is. Like, she's, woman, has a cool whip.
She's wonderful. She's big. I don't know.
She's tall. She Amazon. There we go.
Amazon. I don't feel well read enough to know how I actually, if I should feel strange about the Amazon thing or not. I don't know if that's, I don't know that much about Amazonian lore or anything, but she's cool here.
Yeah.
And I really like the Greek mythology stuff that they're doing here a lot.
Yeah, they've leaned into that in the main Wonder Woman comic books for a while now, but it hasn't always been there. Normally, like, her thing is that she's got like the bracers and the sort of like one piece swimsuit kind of look and the like lasso of truth, and those are like really those are really her things, and this book takes all of those pieces and like rethinks them.
Like as we noted down, she have big sword.
She got big sword.
She has big sword.
I love actually that's maybe a spoiler later, but the big sword gets like so much great use in this book.
There's a moment with the big sword that I was like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I was going to say, I went into this thinking I'll probably have a good time, but I expected to have similar issues with the writing style and the voice that I've had with the previous American superhero comics that we've read, just like I was expecting to sort of build on that trend. This is far and away my favorite superhero thing that we have read for this, and I think it actually doesn't fall into a lot of my least favorite pitfalls with the style of superhero writing, and I was really surprised and very pleasantly, and really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's definitely one of like the better books to come out in the last couple of years, like in this genre. And yeah, reading it again, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna hit for folks. I will say, I felt very similar. I was like, oh yeah, that tone that I like really didn't like in Angela, or that like you and Robin kind of took issue with in Nightwing, like isn't here. And then there's a moment later in the back 2 issues where a character says something. I was like, oh, that's out of character for this book, but okay.
The Angela stuff was really dragged down by the pop culture references, and it's so nice that it's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, because when did I first read this? Okay, so we read Angela in October, and then I read this like the first weekend of November. So with Angela having been the last superhero thing I had read, I was like innately kind of comparing it at first, and I was like, okay, we're also doing hell in this one, but we're doing it so much better.
Yeah. I read this a few months ago. A bunch of folks in TWG Comics General were reading it, and I picked it up then. That's why I had the trade ready to go.
Nice.
I want to, in this like pre-spoiler section, I want to talk a little bit about art.
Yes.
Because Hayden, Sherman, and Jordi Belair are delivering.
Like, yeah. The colors in this book, I see, like, it deserved best coloring, like, 100%.
It's really, really good.
This shit is crazy. especially in those last two volumes or the last two issues.
Those last two issues are the ones that are penciled by Iulis, I think we said. So Hayden Sherman's not doing pencils and inks there, but they're still colored by Jordy, and she's doing an incredible job. I said this in our notes, and this is just me like not being an artist, but I'm always shocked that like how colorists depict neon in comic books. Like her whip, for example, like she pulls out the red whip at one point, and it's very clearly like, but in fact, it's on, if you look at the opening page, like in the trade, it's just like the cover. And I'm just always mesmerized in like how you do that. Like I don't do art, but I do some graphic design. And if I were to try and mimic that style, it would take me a long time. Like I think there's just like color palettes you have to choose from, and then like maybe a glow effect that you're putting on the outside. But it's just like a skill I personally don't have.
I can speak to this a little bit if you're interested.
Yeah, I'm interested.
So in color, like you say you've worked in graphic design, but a lot of people who have worked on like just fixing up one of their photographs on Instagram or in their phone's photo app will see something like hue, saturation, brightness as an option. And that hue, saturation, and brightness essentially are the three essential elements of what make a color. It's more, saturation is more for digital color. Chroma is more what you would call that in traditional like paint and stuff. And that's basically like in paint, chroma is, if I'm remembering right, the density of the pigment, like how much pigment is put into the paint itself. But saturation does the same thing in digital color, and that is the how much of a color is in a color. Brightness is about value, so that's like making it lighter, adding more white, or making it darker, adding more black. Hue is the actual, like, is it blue? Is it green?
Right.
Is it red? So you are, as an artist working in color, you are always manipulating those three things a lot. I'm looking at, like you said, the cover here. And I've done glow effects before as well in my work. A lot of what it depends on is manipulating, like you're right, Matt, when you say it has to do with color palette, but it has to do a lot with manipulating all of the colors around it as well, because the thing that's going to make it look more neon, like a innate part of a neon color is that it's highly, highly pigmented. So there is a lot of the color in the color, and it's very, very bright. So there is like a high, not necessarily a high white content, but just like there's so much color in the color. And so when you're working on getting that kind of effect, it has to do with generally, like, if you want it to really pop, you're muting the colors around it. You're making them a little less saturated. You're making everything feel a little darker or a little more muted, a little more pastel, so that when the neon comes in, it really pops. And that's just about, like lowering sort of the amount of quote unquote pigment or saturation on your color choices around it to really push the saturation and the pigment of the neon colors. And also this trick that's used here a lot is like a really pigmented outline, and then the inside of something that's neon is appearing white or almost white or just lighter than your outer line, which gives the effect of like you're looking at a literal neon sign, because that is a light inside of glass, and so it has that sort of ribbon of brightness inside of it that is almost white when you look at neon. So that's a little bit about how you would get that effect.
And you can see here on this one, they're also doing like these like frayed edges on that outer color as well.
Yeah, the whole way that line work is used in these first couple of issues is so fun to me. There's like everything has a line. There's nothing lineless going on in any of this stuff. And that all works so well. I was really impressed with Hayden Sherman's stuff.
The thing that sticks out to me in this book the most is the Circe and Diana relationship.
100%.
I think it's like it is the, not just the emotional core of the book, but it is like fundamentally the like story core of the book. You could read this as those are flashbacks. To me, the Harbinger story in Gate City is more of a flash forward.
I 100% like feel that. I feel like it is very much like this is, well, and you know, there's the mention, well, this is almost spoilery, but like there's mentions of visions and whatnot. So like it feels very like almost like, yeah, this is us seeing what's going to happen based on her growth as a kid into an adult.
Yeah.
And I think all of the stuff in Hell was like my favorite, honestly.
Yeah. I love it. I love the sequence very early on in the first issue where we have 6 pages that's just Diana growing up in this cave with Circe and like Circe progressively learning to love her.
I really, really liked those pages.
Yeah, and the way that their little cave changes.
Oh my God.
And Diana's constantly like bringing in new little creatures, and
every time I look at it, I notice a new thing that gets added per panel.
Yeah, it really shows like just how much they are both like together in this space. Like there are certain things that stay the same, so you know it's the same thing. But in like the third panel, a second seat is added to the desk, and another bookshelf is put up. And it really is doing a lot of environmental storytelling in these 2 pages.
And for me, part of it too is like on that first page, Circe's been living here for who knows how long. She has no like bed coverings. And it's not until she has a literal baby there with her that she puts bed coverings on her own bed.
Yeah.
It finds a way to make them, I think, maybe, because I'm noticing on this first of these long panels on the right-hand page, she's actually knitting there.
Yeah.
So maybe that is like implying that she is making these blankets that they use later.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole sort of opening sequence of her being introduced to Diana, I guess is the way that we would say it.
Yeah.
Apollo literally comes down from the sky and is like, here, I took this baby. It's yours now.
Yeah. Apollo looking like the fucking angel that was like, hey, you're gonna have the son of God.
Also, Apollo dressed like a non-binary art student.
True.
So true.
Yeah. He says, this is yours now.
Yeah, this baby's yours.
Handing her a literal child. And again, it decrees that she cannot say the word Amazon because
to cut her off from her origins, from her people, her culture.
I've not read past this first trade, but I assume that Diana eventually makes it back to the Amazons in some way.
I would assume so. I also have not read past this.
I feel like it's probably got to come up.
Scout, have you read past it?
Yeah, actually, absolutely, I have.
Absolutely.
I know, absolutely, I have, and I certainly know what's going to happen next, and I do know things about comics, about American comics. Comics, I think it's pronounced.
Yes.
No, I think I've seen a couple of panels here and there from future stuff, but I haven't seen anything in context.
I think we had a note about paneling specifically within this part that we want to talk about before spoilers.
Yeah, speaking about panels.
A lot of some of the fight scenes have some really fun messing around with paneling where there are panels within panels to show the progression of the fight.
Oh, yeah. So
this page that I'm holding up to the screen right now.
Oh, let me look at you.
Do you want to describe it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a page where Diana is fighting a creature that has come out of the ocean.
It's firing its laser eyes at her.
It's firing its laser eyes at her. It's so hard to describe this with words. Imagine you're looking at a bunch of windows that are kind of stacked vertically and spread out like windmill panels, almost like it's almost like it's
they're in an arc.
They're in an arc, like they would have been spoked together from one point. But that is the paneling of the page where it follows Diana as she dodges all of these eye lasers. Like
it's reminiscent of like what we saw in Nightwing in that first episode.
Yes, there is stuff. There. I was going to say it's like animation, or like if we were just in on her, it would be the arc of like a dolly shot that was following her. Mm-hmm. If we were front and center on her, but instead we're seeing it from sort of a third perspective out here. So we're seeing her running, and each panel is a different part of the run and jump and flip sequence. And each one of those poses is framed by a panel, but the panel looks diegetic. It looks as though she's
kind of like busting out of them.
Is literally like busting out of the panels. They even change color as like they get closer to what the camera would be, because I think that's sort of implying, you know, the distance growing closer to us, like it's coming into a shadow and then coming back out of a shadow.
Yeah. It's like if this was a movie set, you would be on the crew, right? And instead of the camera, there would be like a box around the star of the film.
Yes.
And I really like how the last panel has her like landing on top of the panel flat on the ground.
Yes, like the panel like, fell over too.
And as like, we're done moving, I'm making my stand. Like, the movement is over.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it also blends into the actual paneling of the page, right?
Yes, then it becomes, it intersects again with the sort of white outer paneling of the page, the gutter.
I just thought this was a genius piece of paneling there. I just really loved the way they did with it.
I cannot stop thinking about this page.
I'm guessing that Hayden Sherman is doing the layouts if we don't get a separate layout artist. So,
I mean, shout out Hayden Sherman on that. There's also a lot of really unique panel shaping that goes on in the past or in like the hell sequences, the Circe sequences.
I love that there's so many like curved panels.
Yes.
It makes it feel really like unique.
I love like the tall rounded rectangles that we get every once in a while.
A lot of this feels very organic. Like it moves, it flows in ways that are very different.
Well, and even when Steve arrives in hell, we get a lot of these curved panels and sequences with him. And then like shortly after that section is where we see Diana and Steve together in Gate City, and the paneling starts to turn like angular as Diana's arguing with the commander until we get to this page where she's basically like telling off the commander, and we get like the Wonder Woman W in the paneling. It's really cool.
Yeah, I would love, so from what I can see, there is not a separate layout artist. I would love to, I need to like see if maybe there was an interview or something. I would love to know the thought process that went into some of these panels, because I was just like, this is so unique.
Yeah.
It's so different and so like...
It doesn't feel like an American comic book, the way the panels are drawn half the time. It feels more like a graphic novel, essentially. Like that, you know, like the kind of difference there where it's like...
More experimental, comic, like American comic books, Big Two. It's Big Two, right? Yeah. That's what they're called. The Big Two comics, a lot of time, we've talked a little bit about house style as far as just like the art style, but I'm sure that they also have a style guide for paneling and stuff. I would presume that that's something that they have some sort of opinion on somewhere in the pipeline. But it feels like they were just allowed to really think in unusual ways with all of this stuff. Ways that I've studied comics, I make comics, I want to make more comics. None of this is stuff that I would really think of as far as choices for paneling, and it all works so well.
Yeah, I will say the absolute stuff, they've been getting a lot of folks who have like a level of prestige to work on these books. So it's not a coincidence that, for example, Jordi Belair is the colorist on this book. It's not a coincidence that Kelly Thompson is writing this book. Hayden Sherman is doing a ton over at DC, always, like too much stuff. But I don't want to like diminish what he's done. He's done really cool stuff, but like it's the most DC like typical pick of this crew that's on this book.
Interesting.
I don't know. You see that with like, I wouldn't even say, it's not like stunt casting or anything like that. These are like really, really qualified, really, really great artists. I think that's why some of these books feel more like indie comics than they do like a DC book.
I will say the stuff that was penciled by Mattia de Iulis does not have the same panel feel as the Hayden Sherman stuff. So that is another indicator that it is Hayden Sherman making those choices as far as 100%. Paneling.
I will say it's a different style, but I do love that.
Oh yeah,
those pencils as well.
The painterly style in The Lady and the Tiger is very cool. I will say I did just look up Hayden Sherman. They use they them pronouns.
Oh,
so
my
we
bad.
will make sure to do that going forward.
Nice.
I did not realize, but I did find them on Blue Sky. So because I was like, do you have anything that I can see about this?
Cool.
And it's just a lot of promo.
Probably. That makes sense.
Good for them. Yeah. A lot of Batman, a lot of everything.
I think it's interesting that as far as the coloring by Jordi Belair goes, the styles are very different going from the Hayden Sherman to the Mattia de Iulis stuff. But it's also interesting that the coloring style is different in volume 6 than it is in volume 7, even though it is the same penciler. I thought that was kind of, I don't know that I have anything particularly interesting to say about it, but it's much more of a highly rendered, super realism-oriented painting style in volume 6, and it sort of eases up to a little bit more cell shading and simpler color application in the, not simpler in terms of like easier necessarily, but just simpler in terms of presentation in volume 7. So I was curious about what the decision behind that was. I don't know. I don't think any of us on the call know, but it was something that I noted and thought it would be fun to point out.
Do we want to try and get into spoilers?
I would love to get into spoilers.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Who put this note in?
I did. I put in bigger sort.
Bigger sort. Big sort gets fucking gigantic. There's a panel with her holding the sword, and she's like,
it's hysterical.
She's so tiny.
It's so funny.
So good.
So the progression is like, it's the flock of Harbingers to Harbinger Prime that she takes out with her lasso Nemesis. And then it's the Tetracide that is this like gigantic, I don't know, Cthulhu-esque monster.
Guy.
Yeah, bug-looking guy. And she's like, you know what I'm going to do? Cast some magic on this sword and make it bigger.
I'm going to make the sword big as it can possibly be.
Skyscraper tall sword.
Yeah, she's like not even a third of the like hilt of the sword, and then she just fucking drops that shit. It's so good,
and it doesn't kill the thing.
It doesn't. No. It just takes half of it. Well, like not quite half of it. That's the thing. If she had been right down the center, probably would have killed it. But somehow. I would describe it as like one of a big tick had a bunch of Cthulhu tentacles on it, I think.
That's a good description.
It's got the tickish
little mouth.
And the way the arms and legs are, it has that whole shape to it to me.
What are those like microscopic bug things?
Tardigrades?
Tardigrades. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, no, those are much cuter.
Oh yeah, no. It reminds me of that.
There is some DNA there.
It evokes tardigrade.
It evokes a tardigrade. It evokes the tardigrade
with just tentacle belly.
This is the first note I took about this book, which was when she slices into the Tetracide with the big ass sword. It's basically an American flag.
See, I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
I also didn't notice that, and I like it less.
I know.
That.
So the sword is silver, and it has 2 red stripes, like right before the hilt, and the blood of this monster is blue, and it's dripping down the sword with like spots. So it's not like even. It's not laid out in like literal stars, but it's an American flag reference.
It's evoking,
it's intentional.
It's evoking America.
Yeah, I will say, I think this is intentional. Like, I think that, and I think it's like, I don't know, clearly I'm not like big rah-rah America, but like,
you're not?
Diana and a bunch of like basically every other superhero are wrapped up in like American identity.
Americana is very important to a lot of famous superheroes.
Yeah. And like Diana's costume outside of Absolute Wonder Woman is basically an American flag with a W on it. And that's the Wonder Woman she's not supposed to be in this universe. And to me, like, this is like a little bit of her like doing the things that she's known for in the other universe, but like basically like becoming the thing that, like, in this case, Darkseid didn't want her to be, even though she has a completely different background and different upbringing, right? Like, and so to me, it's like a fulfillment of like her heroism, even though it is a little jingoist for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I was drawn to, I mean, the reason that I didn't notice the American flag thing going on is I think because I got so transfixed by looking at like the fucked up alien guts.
It looks like a diagram of a cell.
I was about to say mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yeah, it literally looks like a diagram of a cell, like
Yeah, it does.
that you would see in a science class. But also there's goopiness to it. So
They got that goop. It got
that goop in it.
It's got
Got that glove.
Glub.
That's a quote from Scout from 2 episodes ago, because I've been editing that episode.
Yeah, I did. I said there's lots of glumps and ulps and some glorps.
It is drawn really cool though. Like it looks really
Yeah, all of this is so dynamic and fun. The paneling makes it dynamic, but also just the posing and the shot composition and everything makes it so dynamic and also really easy to follow.
Yeah, that can be really tough with action book.
Well laid out action scenes here. Not very long before this, I really liked this is, I suppose, more of a lettering thing, but the pages that depict sort of this scream bomb that Diana puts off, I think are so cool with this big spiraling bunch of just chaotic text.
Yeah.
I really like that.
To explain that to someone who's listening and didn't read, the tetracide, it gives 4 different types of death. And one of the types of death is death of fear, which means that like literally your fear dies and you run towards it and it ends up like killing you with death of the body, the mind, and the soul. And so it's like, it does that through emitting a sound. And it's implied that it's also like the thing it's feeding on is the sound of death. And so when Diana's like trying to draw it away from the city, she does magic so that like the beach is emitting the sounds of screams of death.
Right.
Yeah. There's a lot of like sensory stuff I've noticed in this book.
Yeah.
Well, and there's like the blindness in the second story, right? Where she
and
goes
the smell.
And the smell. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of, and one could argue for taste in that one too. There's a lot of just very like sensory stuff associated with this particular volume that I think is done really interestingly.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The paneling or the lettering for the fear bomb is so good.
Why'd you lose your mind at The Lady and the Tiger?
Okay, so the reason that I lost my mind at The Lady and the Tiger is because that is like one of my favorite short stories that I taught as a teacher.
Nice.
And one of my favorites that I read.
It's a very Jill story.
Yeah, I know. There's a meme out there where it's like high school English teachers will have you be reading the most fucked up short stories and then just go on with their day like nothing happened. And like those were always my favorite. But when I saw that it was like actually a play on the story of The Lady and the Tiger and the way that it is like dissected in like they are doing literary analysis in the middle of this comic book, and that is why I was like, oh, this is like the coolest thing that I've ever seen.
The scene where Diana's like chopping something and then like looks up and she goes, "Oh, I'm not the princess."
Right. Yeah. It's really good.
It was such a fun sequence, and the reason that it made me lose my mind is because it is so specifically targeted at me, somebody who studied literary analysis. And it just fully like it gives the whole entire process of analyzing a piece of literature and analyzing a story like step by step on the page, and I'm like, damn, it's just very succinct and very well done, and I loved it.
So I remember the day that we in high school studied The Lady and the Tiger. And I remember it because it's the reason that my best friend in high school and I were ever friends.
Oh.
Because we did like short stories like based on Lady and the Tiger. And she wrote something that was just like really good. And then we were like, I like mentioned it and then we were good friends after that.
I love that.
That rules.
And that full circle is coming. That led me to Teen Titans fan fiction, which is how I really got into superheroes to begin with. Which like
What?
Let's go.
is like I wouldn't have read this, or I wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
I really like that.
For those of you who don't know the story of The Lady and the Tiger, I guess we can explain that really quick. Essentially, The Lady and the Tiger is a short story about a princess who falls in love with a commoner, being a princess that is not allowed, but her father, the king, is like, all right, well, we'll still give him a chance of like, you know, he broke my rules and he fell in love with you, but we're going to give him a chance. So he can go into this arena. There's 2 doors. Behind one door is a tiger. Behind another door is a woman that he will be able to go marry and live happily ever after with. He doesn't know which one. The princess does, and she knows that the woman is like her sworn enemy, and therefore she's like, you know, having this decision of like, do I send him to his death or do I send him to the lady that I hate and let him and her be happy, and then I'm standing here alone. So she knows which one is which. She tells him like she'll point him towards the correct choice. And the end of the story is she points to one of the doors, he opens the door, and that's it. You don't actually know which one is which.
You don't know the choice she made.
Classic short story you read in your high school English class.
I love the depiction of Diana being upset about how it ends.
Yes,
It's good.
it's so good because that's like, that is how, like, you know, like I mentioned with them doing basically the literary analysis process, like you start with your reaction, like, hey, what the fuck? And then she goes into it and she's kind of starting to analyze it. She's like, well, why was that even like, why is she so selfish? Why is she even thinking about like letting him die? Like, that's just such a mean thing to do. And it's like, okay, well, the point isn't like what you would do necessarily. The point is exploring why she would do such a thing.
Rip to her, but I'm different, said
Rip
Diana.
to her, but I'm different.
I
would simply not send a man to his death.
would simply not send a man to be eaten by a tiger, even if I was really upset about the woman that he was about to marry.
Yeah, so I really liked that. I liked how as that story becomes the thing that she is living, where she is fighting in Hades' arena, I liked that the chimera that she is fighting is a tiger.
Yes.
Very, very good.
A lady tiger, actually, because she does mention as she like, you know, kills her, she's like, you know, rest well, sister. And I'm like, oh, cool. So we have the lady and the tiger as one beast here that she's fighting. So yeah, that's just my like, it's not necessarily like, oh, this is just such like a genius thing, but it was something that just really stuck out to me as like a really cool thing to pull in this book. And that is like, reading that specifically got me like, this is maybe one of the greatest comics I've read.
I love that story, or like that story within this book specifically, because of how those last 2 issues work in mythology, and specifically how Persephone and the pomegranate seeds are used to solve a like superhero-ass problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That Diana both needs to leave hell, like must be able to leave hell again, but also wants to be able to be with her mother ever again. And Hades is like, listen, you can leave, but you're never coming back. And it's solved by Persephone and also way, way, way years ago, Hecate, right? Being clever and outsmarting Hades. I also think it does a thing that I think a lot of comics about women superheroes try to do, which is have the women in these books be cleverer than the men without being heavy-handed. This is not the like girl team up in Avengers Endgame, right? This is
right.
This isn't Persephone like turning to Diana and going, "Men, am I right?"
Exactly. Yeah. It's It is instead people protecting each other because they care about each other, right? It is intentional that these are women that are doing this protecting, but it is believable and, within the values and desires and belief systems of these people and not performative in a weird way. It's cool.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting too how it's all done through storytelling.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Like, this is a problem where like she is literally in an arena like fighting something. This is like we're gonna tackle this problem in a physical way, but the solution is actually like through a more like delicate, and it makes me think of like everybody talk like I've seen a lot of things where it was like, oh yeah, gossip being the thing that is like stereotypical of women and like kind of demonized to a point when in fact like that is a method of sharing information to keep each other safe sometimes. And so the use of storytelling being the thing that like is the undoing, I think is really fun. And also it's a story. So like,
and also
stories having power, all that stuff. It's good stuff.
It's also just kind of cool. Like I don't know who wrote this, but like somebody wrote in our notes, it's just simply cool.
It's simply cool.
That was me. I was like, that was my like big takeaway was like, I think I just like this because it's fucking cool. Like it's just a cool book. Wonder Woman becomes a giant Medusa to make the biggest monster I've ever seen turn into stone and then shatters it. Like
I really do like
cool
when
shit.
she turns the tetracide to stone. I think that fucking rules.
Yeah. And then she like punches it into pieces.
Punches it into dust.
Cool. It's just fun.
But also like in that same turn, she's like saved by the man that she saved in like right, because she's like built that relationship. So it's like both doing cool shit but also really doing like base emotional shit that is just like human and interesting.
Yeah.
Because like if you didn't read it, she can't just turn back from being Medusa. She has used a lasso that basically like transformed her, but it does not untransform. And she has to be like reminded of herself by Steve Trevor, who in the past she had saved from hell and gotten him back home.
I really liked Steve in this book. I think he was really nice. He's a really good character.
I did too. I also have to call out one of the things that got the biggest laugh from me is Diana calling herself Diana of the Wild Island, Princess of Hell, the last Amazon, and doing some sick shit. And then the next page, a man appears and she just goes, Steve. Very, very funny. Like an all-American mundanity of the name Steve come out of Wonder Woman's
it's so good. That's,
mouth right after that.
There is an element of comedic timing in this book that I really enjoyed, just as like little tiny throwaway lines and bits. The one they're like, what do you feed a dead horse? And she's like, fucking magic, duh.
As she's like walking out of the room, she's like, magic. Christ.
Come on, you guys. I want to shout out the sweatier and sweatier newscaster that we see who ends up actually becoming important because the newscaster and the cameraman help her like put out basically a PSA of like, hey, I'm going to do magic that's going to deafen the entirety of the city temporarily so that you don't get called in by the siren song of the creature that makes you not fear death and then throw yourself into its mouth. So I'm going to need you all I need everybody to get really cool really quickly. And she enlists the help of this newscaster and this cameraman who are the guy. It reminded me so much of, you see those videos of weathermen who are forced to go out in really, really bad weather to report on what it's outside. And it's like, I'm out here. It's fucking snowy. It's so snowy, dude. That is what it reminded me of. These two guys just like, we gotta be out here. We gotta keep showing them the big creature and what's going on with the big creature. But whoo boy, I'm scared.
I think I love the page where she's doing magic and she says, this is not for recording gentlemen. And they're like, can I ask why? She says, of course. It's mostly because I don't want people to be afraid and new things are often scary. A frightened populace will serve no one now. The other reason is because magic is sacred and not everyone has earned the responsibility to wield it. And then the cameraman's like, that was a good answer.
They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I really, really like all of the times that Diana she does have a really genuinely thoughtful voice in a way that I appreciated a lot. I really like all of the stuff that she says and the way that it never comes off. Sometimes that kind of writing can end up feeling like preachy or like somebody is sort of proselytizing. Is that the right word for it? Or being, there can be a feeling of superiority to it, and it doesn't ever feel like that here. It never feels like she's talking down to anybody. It feels very much like she is meeting them where they are, and she has a lot of empathy, and I think that plays in a lot to what you were just saying about how Steve saves her from being stuck in the form of Medusa. Is like, that is her never-ending sort of font of empathy coming back to help her again.
Yes.
And the way that empathy can like breed empathy in other people too. When they are shown kindness, they can then in turn take that into themselves.
Yeah. I love the whole section where they go to Etta and Gia Candy's apartment.
Yes.
Etta Candy is a PI and Gia Candy is a witch, and they go there because Gia is a witch and she needs ingredients to get her arm back, because in this book, her arm is a magic item that she detaches to escape the tentacles of the tetracide. And so she needs to grow another one. I've played this
D&D character.
Yeah.
But she has this like sequence with Etta where she's basically asking her like, what is your job? Do you protect people? And she's like, well, I used to be a detective, but now I'm a PI. And she says, so similar work, but now you work for yourself. And she goes, you have quite the way with words, And it's, I don't know, it's that like quiet empathy you were talking about that is not overbearing in this case. And like, I don't know, I feel like if Gal Gadot delivered that line, it'd be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Another part that I sent this to the chat as well, but another thing that both made me laugh and I really, really liked. Diana is talking to Gia. That's her name, right? This exchange. Diana says, you see, to fight this creature, I really do need my arm back. The prosthetic is a powerful weapon, forged in fire by Hephaestus himself, but it is no match for what it replaces, and what I face is perhaps beyond me, even at my best and strongest. And Gia, perfectly encapsulating what it's like to be way in over your head in a conversation, but still really want to participate, goes, arms are good to have.
Yeah. Well, there's a similar one where Steve is hanging out with Pegasus and he's like, is that why he's bones? And it's like, yeah, that's why he's bones.
Yeah, he died, so he's bones.
He died, so he's bones.
Skeleton Pegasus
rules.
Is in fact the coolest possible mount one could ever have. And also it reminded me of how badly I wanted to be able to register a stall horse in my stables in Breath of the Wild. Right? I wanted to ride a skeleton horse around all the time so badly, and Nintendo kept me from being able to do that.
Yeah. Love a skeleton.
I love her lassos. I think having multiple lassos that do different things is a really cool twist on the lasso of truth. I don't know to what extent that exists in the regular comics. Maybe there's a thing, but you have Nemesis, which basically harms the being that it's wrapped around in accordance with like its level of sin. You have Sacrifice, which is the transforming one. It seems to like transform beings in a harmful way.
Thusia. I looked up how to say that Greek word also. It's Thusia.
And then you have a blue one. They were red and green, and then there's a blue one that we don't know what it does as of yet. But like, man, is that mat bait. Like, I love a costume change. I love a new primary color weapon. I grew up on Power Rangers. Like, that's my shit.
Well, they're obviously the lassos of power, wisdom, and courage.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, it's a Triforce situation.
It's a Triforce situation. Yeah, I really like that, and I'm sure that the blue lasso comes up in future arcs, and I love that for the blue lasso.
Chekhov's lasso.
Yeah, I feel like that entire scene of Hades making her take off all her weapons was just to show the blue lasso.
Yeah. I will say, like, I didn't really notice it as much the first time I was reading through, but like second go around, I paid a lot more attention to like certain design elements. I fucking loved the spooky like Hades design that we get here.
Oh my God, his
just
crown?
Like, the crown,
and then later Persephone has like a matching crown when they're sitting together in the arena. I really liked that.
Yeah, it's so fun.
But not in the scenes without him. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought, like, the way the crowns are done, the way he is, like, this blue fire water-ish, like, silhouette. Like, there's not really much detail to him. And I thought that was a really, like, really cool design.
It's a fun way to go, especially because all of the other gods that we've seen so far in the Greek pantheon are over-designed. It sounds like negative, and that's not really what I mean, but they're highly detailed. And so it's very interesting that Hades is sort of going exactly the opposite way, where there's very little definition to what his form is.
Yeah.
When we've read superhero books so far, you've probably noticed that they will like essentially like bleep out curse words.
I think they should be allowed to say fuck.
I also agree.
I agree.
But I love how they get around it in this one by having at the arena, Circe is muzzled and Hades is like basically like egging her on, and she says like motherfucker.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh, I had one more. This is a very, very early note, but actually kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier with Diana learning about literary analysis. One of my favorite little throwaway bits. This is on for me. It's page 22. It's during those 2-page spreads of Circe raising Diana. It's the second of those spreads. It's on the right-hand page. Somehow Circe has gotten a copy of The Giving Tree.
Oh God, yes, that killed me.
And I really, really like that Diana is like, I hate this. What? Why is he hurting the tree, and why doesn't the tree get it? That killed me. And also, Circe, I love that you got the Giving Tree in hell.
Yeah. They just keep having books appear, and I'm like, do you have Amazon down there? Like,
yeah, I guess. Hey, she does have an Amazon.
She does have an Amazon down there.
Oh my God. Athena is the goddess of wisdom. Do you think she's dropping them books?
I think
Probably.
so. Well, because she's like, Wonder Woman is, she later says, she's like, Athena's only ever blessed me. And so I'm like, yeah, Athena's dropping them these books.
Athena is sending all the books. Athena is educating Diana, sending birthday presents.
I feel like all the gods are like low-key mad at Apollo for stealing Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody has good thoughts about Zeus throughout this whole thing. Basically, everybody's like, yeah, Zeus fucking sucks. Which is, yeah. She goes and frees Prometheus. Everybody's known this. She does free Prometheus.
For a little bit.
Yeah, for a little bit.
Just for a little bit, give him a respite. She also tells the eagles, she talks to the eagles, she's like, come on, man, can you just like chill on the whole eating the liver thing? Like you and your buds, can you maybe, like, I get it, I know, but sometimes, sometimes carceral justice is not the way, she says to these eagles.
Yeah, good book.
Yeah, I like this book a lot.
Fun playing around with Greek mythology, fun playing around with literature and comic book history.
I think it is a miracle how much this book speaks to those of us like on this call who just want to do like literary analysis and talk about how things make us feel. And also the only thing I hear about this book outside of this like Discord call is like, this book fucks. Like it's like I just like people just like think this book goes hard, and it's cool that it can do both things so well.
It does both things, yeah.
I agree.
I have one thing to point out. My thing is just, we talked about the change in artist between issue 5 and 6 as sort of an arc ended, and then this smaller arc with the Lady and the Tiger goes on. I was disappointed to see that Diana lost her more prominent nose when we swapped to the other artist. I really, really liked the bigger nose that Hayden Sherman was repping, and Mattia de Luis does still great art, but I noticed specifically like she has a much more sort of standard, general beauty standards profile, and I was like, oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Give women big noses.
She looks very distinct in the Hayden Sherman.
Yeah. So most of Kelly Thompson's work is with Marvel specifically.
I looked up and she's been writing a lot of Jeff the Landshark lately.
She is the co-creator of Jeff the Landshark.
I did not know that. So if you're a Marvel Rivals person, Kelly Thompson's got a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah.
Shark Kick makes an appearance yet again.
So true.
Yeah.
She did 50 issues of Captain Marvel and a Birds of Prey run a couple years ago. Matt, you mentioned hearing good things about Black Cloak. What is Black Cloak?
I just know that it's an image book that people like. Okay, that's about all I know. It looks interesting. It has really cool graphic design, I think, on their covers, but I've not really dug into it all.
Other entries in the Absolute Universe, we mentioned a couple of them. Right now, there is Batman, Superman, Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Green Lantern. I believe Catwoman is about to come out, and Green Arrow is also getting, I believe, a one-shot.
Yeah, there was a one-shot called Absolute Evil as well that I will not spoil for people, but Green Arrow is a follow-up to that.
Okay, cool.
Is there a character named Evil, or is it?
No,
just
it was
evil
just all
in
the
general?
bad guys.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure.
No,
you should have just said yes. Oh, interesting. Sorry, I was looking up who, which particular villains are featured in here.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, Evil.
Yeah, Evil is there.
Mr. Evil.
I'll say that Hayden Sherman did Batman Dark Patterns, which is written by Dan Waters, and I know a lot of people talk really highly about that book.
Okay. Yeah, when I was looking on their Blue Sky, there was a lot of Dark Patterns art. It looks very cool. Sherman is the co-creator, penciler, and inker for Dark Spaces Dungeon. Jordi Belair is doing colors on Exquisite Corpses, which is a popular horror comic from James Tynion IV and Michael Walsh's Tiny Onion imprint at Image. And she is an artist in residence with Tiny Onion. She's also done color work on Assorted Crisis events written by Denise Camp, who also did the writing for Absolute Martian Manhunter.
I also call out, he writes The Ultimates, which was the Avengers for the Ultimate line. So he's doing work in creator-owned DC and Marvel right now, and is a top tier and very new writer in this space. So kind of a breakout star in the last couple years.
Cool.
And with that, just want to let you know that In Sequence is a member of The Worst Garbage. You can find us online at theworstgarbage.online. Panelists, do you guys have anything to plug this week?
As always, I will share my YouTube, which is youtube.com/@flowstatekrit. I don't know what I will have coming out when this episode's coming out, but hopefully I've got a video after Goaty. I also want to call out that you should go to insequence.pictures and look at our reading list if you want to read along. When you are hearing
stacked.
it's stacked as hell right now, but when you're hearing this, our next book is Frontier by Guillaume Changelant. If you are in the Discord and you need help finding that book, let me know. I can point you to the right places. It is kind of difficult to get a hold of. Unless you want it in French, then it's pretty easy to get a hold of.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want it in French, you just go to your local Amazon, Diana, and ask her for it, and she's got that for you.
You can find me on Blue Sky and Tumblr at Humble Goat and see the art that I do, including our podcast cover art at scoutwilkinson.myportfolio.com. And I will say, if you enjoy our podcast here and the platform that you listen to it on has a rating system, you can maybe drop us a 5-star rating. That can really, everybody says it, but it genuinely does help to get the podcast in front of more eyeballs and ear holes. And so takes...
Oh.
Get me in front of your ear hole.
Whoa.
All right, I'm ejecting myself. I'm done. Thank you. Rate the podcast 1 star. Goodbye.
Hey, and also tell your friends.
Yeah.
Share the episode. If there's an episode that you liked, let people know about it. That is really how shows grow.
Word of mouth, man.
And I don't know. We want more people to hear the show. We like making it, and also we think people would enjoy it as much as we like making it.
Yeah. As usual, you can find me at plottwist.card.co. I don't have anything fun coming out right at the moment, I don't think. But just been enjoying reading all these comics and talking with my friends, and I would love to continue doing so and hear about how people also feel. That is one of my favorite things, I would say, is like getting to talk to other people about the things that we've read, even after we have recorded the podcast.
Yeah, I love getting like a month later a message in our Discord channel that's like, hey, I read all of Witch Hat and it fucking ruled.
Yeah.
So that's always like an absolute delight for me. Again, because I'm damn. Wrap it up, baby. Again, because I am that ex-literature teacher at heart still. Let me talk about lit with you. But thank you all for listening. Support your local library and local comic shop. They really need it, and they are honestly great places to go and do things and read and meet people. So if you can, please do. And that'll do it for this time. I keep forgetting if we do anything else other than that. So I'm just going to keep talking.
We never really know how to end it. We just say, well, goodbye.
We just say we're done. Bye.
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 PWG, the worst garbage, online.